decisions should not be based on the commercial value, a statement by the President.
6 persons along with a defender jeep belonging to Hirunika Premachandra arrested over the abduction of a youth from Kolonava.
44 hospitalized following an explosion in a factory in Panadura.
Expenditure heads for 6 ministries including Health of the Western Provincial Council defeated.
Inflation spikes to 4.8% in November.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin with me, Shane Silva, and my co-anchor Nicola De Souza. Good evening, Nicola.
Good evening, Shane. Let's get on with the news, shall we? President Maithripala Sirisena declared open the newly constructed headquarters of the Sri Lanka Scouts Association today.
The newly constructed building is located down Chitampalam A Garden Amawati in Colombo 2. At the ceremony, President Maithripala Sirisena was presented as a special memento, following which a special memento was presented to the Chief Commissioner of Sri Lanka Scouts, Professor Nimal De Silva. The Scouts movement, which is based on the principles of Christianity, Buddhism and every other religion, renders the greatest commitment to the world in creating a society where human values are nurtured and protected. 4 million of the country's total population is represented by school students, of which 50,000 students are enrolled in the Scouts movement. This is something to be happy about. It is my suggestion that a program be implemented with the aim of increasing this number to 100,000. We strongly believe that nothing good will come through taking every decision within the confines of a commercialized society and new technology based on its commercial value. I pledge that during my term in office, I will extend my fullest support to uplift the Scouts movement in the country.
As mentioned in your headlines tonight, the Colombo Crimes Division arrested 6 persons for their involvement in storming into a shop in Dematagoda and abducting an employee. Police said that it also seized a Defender jeep belonging to UNP MP Hirunika Premachandra, which was used to commit the abduction.
The abduction, which took place last evening, was captured in the CCTV cameras installed in the shop that the youth was working in. The moment that the youth was moved to the Defender jeep was recorded on a mobile phone.
Later I got to know that they work for Hirunika. They kept me inside and beat me. They took me to the office of Hirunika and put me in front of her. I was asked what I had done and whether I can't solve this. They said that they have the power to abduct me from wherever I was. I was threatened. If I go to the police, this will escalate. I was told to tell my boss that I sorted the issue. If not, there will be repercussions. I was told that if I do not do so, I would be abducted again.
Investigations by the police yesterday revealed that the Defender jeep belongs to parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra. When police had inquired from MP Hirunika Premachandra, she had said that her supporters were involved in the incident without informing her. The police media spokesperson added that she had informed the police that the said persons would be handed over to the police. However, the group had not reported to the police yesterday, while only the abducted individual arrived at the police. The police had taken measures to hospitalize the youth, taking into account his injuries.
The Anti-Corruption Front convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
The Anti-Corruption Front has 2,159 documents pertaining to large-scale fraud and corruption. 385 documents have been handed over to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate and inquire into serious acts of fraud and corruption, the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division, and the Criminal Investigations Department. We filed complaints against the former monitoring MP of the Foreign Ministry, Sajin Divas Kunawardena. However, we do not see any progress. The complaints were filed in a proper manner, yet we do not see the investigations taking place.
මේ පැමිණිලි වලට මත ඉඳගෙන
It is true that some investigations have commenced based on these complaints. The Anti-Corruption Front cannot be pleased with the progress made in these investigations. The observation of the Anti-Corruption Front is that over the past 12 months, we cannot be satisfied with the actions taken by the government to prevent corruption. We only make these accusations at the government.
The UNP convened a media briefing in Colombo today to discuss a number of matters, including the 2016 budget.
When the budget was presented, 70% of the national wealth was allocated for the Rajapaksa family. 70% of the budget was for 3 ministers. The rest was divided among the 100-odd ministers. None of those MPs or ministers had the courage to stand up. They did not have the strength to raise their objections in parliament. Democracy was not strong. Trade unions could not voice their opinion. The general public were weak. Back then, no one said anything. Today, we have brought about change. What is most important is that today, everyone can speak and express their opinion. We have created that environment. This was given to Parliament as well. Is this not a victory? Back then, the unions did not have the courage to speak.
ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන් පරිසරය අපි හැදුවා. පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුල කෙනෙකුට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් අයිතිය අපි ලබා දුන්නා. ඒක ලොකු ජයග්‍රහණයක් නෙවෙයිද?
අගමැතිතුමා ඊටාත්ම ඍජුවම කිව්වා සීපා කියලා එකක් නැහැ. මේ චෝදනාව ගේන්නේ.
The Prime Minister made it clear that there is no SEPA agreement. We are accused of attempting to sign an agreement which will allow Indian doctors to come to Sri Lanka and open dispensaries. If there is a need, that can be done. But there is no such thing. We state this with responsibility. There is no such thing in our program.
There is no movement of natural persons in this agreement. හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉන්දියාවේ ආකිටෙක්ටට මෙහෙ ඇවිල්ලා
Architects in India will not be allowed to come here and engage in businesses. Lawyers from India will not be allowed to set up shops in Halsdorf. We will not allow that.
The proposed pension plan for government employees was questioned at this briefing.
The proposed system will be applicable to only those who are recruited after 2016. A fund will be established. The program will see a government-certified program for the pension of the employees, and the funds will be placed in the treasury. The main aspect is that we hope to introduce it to the private sector as well.
He also commented on the local government elections.
I believe that the local government election will take place in March. That is a little government. It is only fair to allow the members to operate in their little governments. For months they have been deprived of that opportunity. Decision making in the villages have been given to an official. That is wrong. It is better to have the elections soon as possible.
Convening a media briefing at its headquarters today, members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party expressed views ranging from the budget to the country's preparation for the local government elections.
Some of these persons who are screaming about things now did not campaign for elections back then, did not form a federation or a committee. I firmly believe that Mahinda Rajapaksa, together with President Maitripala Sirisena and Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, will work together in this election campaign. Even if we do not work for Maitripala Sirisena or do not support him, the fact that he has decided to take leadership in this fight alone is a great victory for the party. If someone or anyone is trying to sabotage this, we clearly state that it is being done based on a contract of the United National Party. The proposals made in the budget have given priority in increasing the state income. In 2014, by this time, the revenue of Excise Department was 69 billion rupees. Today, in 2015, the department has managed to earn a revenue of 95 billion. This has been achieved not by selling extra amounts of alcohol, but by implementing the law against illegal imports. The customs had earned a revenue of 505 million. This year, it has earned 664 million. In 2014, the Department of Inland Revenue earned a sum of 514 billion rupees, and this year they have increased their earnings to 560 billion. Moreover, from here on, vehicles which are imported must be full option. So all these systems are being changed, and with it, we are creating a system to increase our revenue. On the 9th of January, the President will table a proposal to Parliament for the appointment of a Constitutional Council in Parliament. Thereby, we intend on incorporating a new program which will bring in several amendments to find solutions to the country's national problem, and which will also implement several new concepts. We definitely intend on holding the local government elections under the new electoral system. We intend on doing this at at least by the end of March.
On the 19th, Minister Rishad Bathiuddin filed a complaint with the Cinnamon Gardens Police against Venerable Pahiyangala Anandasagara Thero over defamation. Statements were recorded today with regard to the complaint.
Citing charges of defamation, Minister Rishad Bathiuddin had lodged a complaint with the police over allegations made by environmental organizations and the National Sangha Council during a protest against the destruction of the Wilpattu National Park and drug peddling. A group including the General Secretary of the National Sangha Council, Venerable Pahiyangala Anandasagara Thera, arrived at the Cinnamon Gardens Police today to provide a statement. He has demanded 1 billion rupees. That must be the amount he does transactions with. We have no habit of handling such an amount. However, the National Sangha Council and the collective of environmental organizations are prepared to give Rishad Bathiuddin that amount of money based on a number of conditions. Number one is that he must stop the destruction caused to the Wilpattu forest. He also commented on the drug trade by him and his associates. It needs to be stopped. A number of incidents that affect the national security are taking place in Wilpattu. There needs to be intervention in this.
Convening a media briefing earlier this evening, parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra has responded to the allegations made against her over the abduction of an individual in Dematagoda. We have the comments made by MP Premachandra. Stay with News First. We will bring more on the story later in the bulletin. The National Movement for the Protection of War Heroes commented on the army soldiers who have been arrested and remanded over the disappearance of journalist Ekneligoda.
We are not extremists. We are deeply attached to the communities. The Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim patriots are rising. Everyone born in this land is patriotic. We say this to President Maithripala Sirisena, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Minister of Justice Vijay Dasa Rajapaksa, the Inspector General of Police and the head of the National Police Commission, Professor Hettige. If you have any law or morality in you, immediately release these 5 war heroes. Ajit Prasanna and the Maha Sangha will not allow these 5 intelligence officers who made sacrifices to eradicate terrorism from the country so that the Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Malay and Burgher communities can live in peace to languish in prison under the Prevention of Terrorism Act.
On to another story that made the headlines tonight. Now, 44 persons were admitted to the Panadura hospital following an explosion of a gas pipe at a paint factory in Keselwatta, Panadura. A spokesperson for the institution noted that all 44 had left the hospital following medication.
Police said that the accident was a result of an explosion that took place in a pipe of the tank used to store paint thinner. The injured were admitted to the Panadura hospital. Many of those were admitted after they suffered from breathing difficulties. The Office of the Police Media spokesperson said the Panadura North Police have begun investigations into the incident.
The budget of the Western Provincial Council was passed with a majority of 83 votes today. 89 Western Provincial councillors voted in favour of the budget, while only 6 voted against. Even though the budget was passed, the expenditure heads of 6 ministries of the Provincial Council, including health, were defeated. The expenditure heads received just 23 votes in favour. Thereby, the budget of the Western Provincial Council was passed today after it was subject to the required amendments.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka says that inflation as measured in November 2015 had increased to 4.8%. It adds that inflation was at 3% in October 2015.
Since 1953, the Colombo Consumers Price Index remained as the official price index in Sri Lanka. On the 2nd, the Departments of Census and Statistics introduced the National Consumer Price Index to replace the CCPI. The Colombo Consumers Price Index had only covered the behavior of prices observed in the Colombo urban areas. The National Consumer Price Index is computed covering all the provinces in the country. The National Consumer Basket includes 407 items which represent the consumption expenditure of all households in Sri Lanka. According to the National Consumer Price Index, inflation for November was 4.8%, and based on data obtained from the Central Bank, since 2015 it has seen an increase. This change is due to the increases of food items and non-alcoholic beverages. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka says that textiles, footwear, household appliances, transport and health sectors have seen an increase in prices. Prices of vegetables in the market have also seen an increase today. The price of a kilogram of a number of vegetables sold at the Dambulla Dedicated Economic Centre was over 200 rupees today.
මිලෙන් නම් ඉහළ තියෙනවා මිලෙන් තිබුණාට අස්සෙන්ෙන් වෙනදා අපේක්ෂව හතරෙන් එකක් වගේ තමයි අස්සෙන්. එළවලු වලින් දෙකෙන් පංගුවක් මේ වෙහි කාල ගුණය නිසා හානි වෙලා තියෙනවා. වෙනදා ගෝණි 10ක් විතර කඩන කොටුවේ ගෝණි 2ක් විතර තමයි කඩන්නේ.
Newsfirst also looked into the situation at the retail markets.
ඊයේ වම්බටු ඇවිල්ලා 130යි අද 100 ඕර්සියල් 150.
බෝන්චේ රුපියල් 300යි 280යි පිටකොට යන්නේ මිල. මාළු මිස් කිලෝ 400යි අවමිස් කිලෝ එක රුපියල් 10යි.
තෙලලු ගණන්. බෝන්චි නම් 80ට යන්නේ 250. අනිත් ඒවත් ටිකක් වැඩි. ඉතින් දැන් හොඳටම මිල වැඩි. වර්ෂාව කියලා තමයි මිල කියන්නේ.
It has been reported that begging and trading in public transport services had caused severe discomfort to passengers.
Lanka Private Bus Owners Association says that begging and the sale of goods inside private buses will be prohibited from the 1st of January 2016. Chairman Gabun Vijayaratne said the association decided to prohibit the practice considering complaints from passengers. We contacted the chairman of the Sri Lanka Transport Board to check whether the same regulation applies to the buses of the Sri Lanka Transport Board. Begging has anyway been a prohibited practice in buses. We hope to strictly enforce the regulation in the future. We contacted the controller of rail security, Senaka Jayasena, of the Sri Lanka Railway Department to check their policy on the matter. According to Jayasena, the department can file legal action under Clause 12 of the Railway Act against beggars and vendors who act in a manner that inconvenience commuters. The controller of rail security says this provision is in operation for the safety of passengers. However, people had diverse views on the matter. They are doing a business. It is an inconvenience for us. We can't even travel in vehicles. They suddenly cut across the road. It is very inconvenient. Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka had this to say at a ceremony held yesterday. Beggars and stray dogs are a result of ad hoc urbanization. There are around 400 beggars seen in and around the Colombo city. There are nearly 2,000 beggars, 2,000 cows and 16,000 stray dogs around cities because of unplanned urbanization. There are over 100,000 slums. Flash floods are also a result of ad hoc urbanization. We are building the country on a new strategy that will focus on new technology and the economy. We want to develop Colombo as one big megapolis.
Priyantha Vijayasinghe, Director Public Relations at MTV MBC Media Networks, who is a versatile personality known for his expertise as a presenter on Sirasa TV, Sirasa FM, musical shows, teledramas, and is a dubbing artist, released his debut album today.
The album was released at the auditorium of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited. The album, titled Sandasi, consists of 16 tracks written by famous lyricist. Vijay Singh says that this album is dedicated in memory of his demised daughter. The first copy of his album was presented to Shashi Raj Mahendran, Joint Managing Director, the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited. Renowned artists, composers, professionals, journalists and members representing the group were present at the launch of the album. Priyantha Vijay Singh, who has served the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited for the past 22 years, is currently Director of Public Relations for MTV MBC. The album generates immense self-satisfaction. I believe that artists are very fortunate. I say this because as much as you enjoy a song and satisfy yourself, you are able to satisfy the listener. I experienced this very feeling. This is what led me to do this album. There was no intention in being a famous and popular singer. However, it was my inner self-satisfaction that drove me. I extend my gratitude to the chairman and the group directors of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited for their immense support rendered towards this endeavour.
Let's now take a look at the comments made by parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra this evening over the allegations made against her on the abduction of an individual in Dematagoda.
There is an individual who is a payment hawker from the second cross street in Petta. This individual came here with his son and daughter and had informed my security personnel that he had complained to the Vallampitiya police that his wife was abducted and justice was not meted out. He had gone to the police and they had said that they cannot do anything about this. He wanted my advice. My defender was parked there. They went in the jeep and asked those who were there to show him this person in question. When they asked him to have a conversation, he had refused. They escorted him out and brought him here. No such attack took place. The country knows that there is a media that slings mud. This certain media is connected to the suspects in the murder of my father. Before pointing the finger at me, they must find a way to provide answers to what happened to my father.
And on to sports news. The Inter-Club Premier 2020 tournament commenced today and saw Baduralia SC, the Sri Lanka Ports Authority Cricket Club and Sinhalese Sports Club record wins. However, due to the wet conditions at the Colts Cricket Club grounds, 2 matches were abandoned.
In Group A, the Colombo Cricket Club recorded a 16-run win over Tamil Union. CCC posted 164 for the loss of 8 wickets, while Tamil Union could only reach 148 runs. Sri Lanka Ports Authority Cricket Club won by 8 wickets against the mighty Colts Cricket Club. Colts Cricket Club posted 122 for 9 in their 20 overs, and Sri Lanka Ports Authority Cricket Club reached the target in 17.1 overs, losing just 2 wickets. Playing in Group A at the Pisara Oval in Colombo, Baduralia Sports Club won by 45 runs against Chilau. Baduralia Sports Club posted 149 for 9 in their 20 overs, while Chilau could only reach 104 runs. In Group B, Sinhalese Sports Club won by 31 runs against Moores Sports Club. Sinhalese Sports Club posted 157 runs for the loss of 7 wickets, and Moores Sports Club could only come up with 126 for the loss of 9 in their 20 overs.
On to some international cricket news now. The Black Caps captain Brendan McCullum reckons the romance of ending his cricket career at home clinched his decision to hang up his blazing bat after February's test against Australia in Christchurch.
Well, that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I am Nicola De Zoiza.
And I'm Shen Silva. Take care and good night.